is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of our podcast where we talk about different historical narratives with strong philosophical undertones. I am Keruviel Pimentel.
Here we will try to explore a lot of political worldviews and perspective. I am Niña Cielo Mojica,
and you are listening to Revolutionary Thoughts.
Hi partner, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, partner, and I am very excited to share this conversation with you, and I know that our listeners feel the same way too. How about you, partner?
Well, I must say that just like you, I feel excited too, because I am certain that today will be another day full of knowledge, fun, and ideas. Do you know why?
Yes, I know, partner, but let me still ask, why is that?
Because today, partner, we will be talking about the different political ideologies. Yay!
Well, that sounds steering, but partner, first things first, do you have any idea what are the different political ideologies?
Partner, for me to answer that, we should start first with the basic, and that is the meaning of political ideology itself. For those who don't know, political ideologies are sets of related beliefs about political theory and the social policy. And the main characteristics of political ideologies is that they have a unifying factors across all beliefs in this thought.
That is right, partner. And I must say that the political ideologies have become more visible with the rise of social media. But you know, it has already influenced human society since the dawn of civilizations as groups of individuals have formed similar thoughts. And these individuals have a vision of what an ideal society should be working towards. How about its origin, partner? Could you enlighten our dear listeners?
My pleasure, partner. But before I tell you that, I just want to reiterate that political ideologies are important to understand because of the role they play in policy development. Often multiple parties are vying for their ideal policy to take form in an established government. Well, back to the topic, the term ideology was coined in the 18th century by Antoine de Tracy in reference to the science of ideas. The etymology or root of the word ideology lies in the Greek ideo, which indicates form of thought.
That makes sense, partner, because the term ideology takes all matters of the world and fits them into a specific form. And it has to be a broad enough idea that it applies to many different aspects of political theory, yet it has to be unique in its viewpoint and can be differentiated from other ideologies.
Now that we have defined what political ideology is, I think we can now proceed to its different types. First is liberalism. It takes protecting and enhancing the freedom of the individual to be the central problem of politics. Liberals typically believe that government is necessary to protect individuals from being harmed by others, but they also recognize that government itself can pose a threat to liberty.
If you guys would ask, where can we see evidence of liberalism today? I'd say everywhere. Have a look around and you will see that the ideas of liberalism are central to our daily lives. And one good example that I can give is how these liberals advocate gender and racial equality in their drive to promote civil rights. Although it's an ongoing battle, I think it's safe to say that they are slowly achieving what they are fighting for because there are some countries now that recognize this through their implemented laws. And I think that it's a beautiful thing.
I agree with you, partner. But aside from liberalism, we also have conservatism, which has traditionally rested on an organic conception of society. That is on the belief that society is not merely a loose collection of individuals, but a living organism comprising closely connected interdependent members, and its central beliefs are based on the ideas of tradition, human imperfection, organic society, hierarchy, and authority, property.
Partner, could you give us an example of conservatism?
Of course, partner. Somehow, contrary to your example of liberalism, conservatism usually seeks to uphold traditional family structures and social values. Religious conservatives typically oppose abortion, LGBT behavior, drug use even for medical reasons, and sexual activity outside of marriage. Simply to say, they see traditional social values more than anything else.
Thanks for that example, partner. I think that our listeners understand it well now. Proceeding to the next type of political ideology, we also have socialism. It calls for public rather than a private ownership of control of property and natural resources. And according to socialist view, individuals do not live or work in isolation, but live in cooperation with one another.
Oh, partner, it's the ideology that's often confused with communism, right?
Yes, partner, you are actually right. And the similarities and differences are quite difficult to define, but let's still try. And to better understand its difference, socialism is the workers owning the means of production. So within socialism, there is money, markets, and the state still exists. Communism, on the other hand, is a stateless, moneyless, marketless, classless society where the means of production are owned by the community. Does that make sense, partner?
Yes, partner, it does. But just to add to what you have said, in socialism, individuals can own personal property, but a democratically elected government owns and manages all industrial and production capacity. While in communism, individuals do not own any personal belongings or assets. Both concepts are therefore inherently different.
It's so cool that we have discussed two political ideologies just by comparing them, partner. And this is what I love our podcast. We don't just help define the topic, but we help our listeners understand it very well.
I agree with you, partner. And I think that it's a beautiful thing. We're going back to the topic. We also have fascism, while liberalism, conservatism, and socialism are ideas that have their roots in the 19th century. Fascism dominated many parts of Central, Southern, and Eastern Europe. And this political ideology is hard to define, but it's an extreme embrace of nationalism, incorporating a belief that certain nations are superior to others.
For you guys to understand it easily, think of Adolf Hitler. I think we all know who he is. He is a fascist, and he believes that violence is accepted, even celebrated, if it serves or advances the national community. And for fascists like him, violence often has a redemptive or beautifying quality. And that's how brutal fascism is.
Brutal indeed. I don't think I can live with that kind of system, partner. But anyways, let's proceed to the next ideology, which is capitalism. I think we can all agree that we have heard this already, especially in high school. And it is an economic system that is focused on profit, and a major part of production is privately owned.
That's right, partner. In this ideology, the market is seen to be the defining mechanism in ordering society. And in this sense, the market refers to the procedure of selling and buying goods in general. There is also a belief that if all people are concerned with increasing their wealth, this will maintain order in society.
Interesting, right? To give our readers an example, in a capitalist economy, capitalist assets such as factories, mines, and railroads can be privately owned and controlled. Labor is purchased for money, wages, capital gains accrue to private owners, and prices allocate capital and labor between competing uses.
After capitalism, we also have totalitarianism. It is a political system where the state controls almost everything in its territory, and all freedom is removed and all the subjects are under the control of the authority. It's a total system of control, and it sounds terrifying, right?
I totally agree with you, partner. And I can relate it to fascism. But in totalitarianism, the state possesses unlimited power and authority over every single aspect of private and public life. One good example that I can give is the Kim dynasty in North Korea. Their family has been running the country based on the concept of reliance up until this day. And the reason why I agree that this ideology is terrifying is that I've heard and watched a lot of testimonies from North Koreans who managed to escape from their country.
Ah yes, partner, I've seen a lot too, and based on their stories, they were controlled in all aspects of life.
Yes, partner, and that includes the economy, the education system, arts, science, and the private lives and morals of citizens. Using this ideology can also mobilize the whole population in pursuit of its goals.
That is scary. But anyways, proceeding to the next one, we also have anarchism. The defining feature of this ideology is its opposition to the state and the institutions of the government and law. And their main argument against authority is that they see authority as being an offense against the principles of freedom and equality.
What I know about this ideology is that they believe in the natural goodness of humans, and that without a state governing humans would naturally fall into a state of cooperation with one another.
We also have religious fundamentalism, partner. This ideology rejects the distinction between politics and religion. For fundamentalists, politics is religion, okay? And fundamentalist groups tend to oppose anything that challenges the religious group's interpretations and opinions. You know, some examples are the most well-known fundamentalist dominations in the United States of America, such as the Assemblies of God. We also have the Southern Baptist Convention, and of course, the Seventh-day Adventists.
I know some people from that religious partner, but proceeding to the next one, we also have nationalism. It's a firm belief in the idea that the nation should be the central principle of political organizations. It believes that the state and the nation should be unified.
Partner, I don't know if my example is correct, but I think we can relate it to the people power, where people gathered in the EDSA to oust the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos. That's how I see it.
I agree with you, partner, and I think it's also safe to say that our heroes are also nationalists. They fought for our country's freedom.
That's right, partner. And after nationalism, we also have environmentalism. It is a belief that nature is the most important focus of the social organization. And I personally think that it is a good advocacy. And we can see a lot of environmentalists nowadays. And one good example is the late Miss Gina Lopez. Although she died already, but her fights for the environment were very significant nowadays.
Indeed, partner, I also idolize Miss Gina Lopez. And I'm glad that she's very dedicated and passionate when it comes to the environment. We need more of her, and I salute her for that. We also have feminism, and it's very close to my heart since I am a feminist, and this is an important ideology that changed the focus of ideology from looking at the public to the private sphere, and that is rather than looking at the politics at the state level, they started to look at the politics of the individual. Keith Dees was looking at the power relationship that exists between men and women.
That is power right there, partner. And for our last ideology, we also have the political spectrum. You guys may have heard at various times terms used like the political left and the political right. And the origin of the terms dates back to the French Revolution and the seating arrangements adopted by different groups in parliament.
For you guys to understand it, let's differentiate the left and right. Left is the broad ideological disposition that is characterized by sympathy for principles such as liberty, equality, fraternity, and progress. And it is also associated with a preference for equality and common ownership.
While the right is the ideological disposition that is characterized by sympathy for principles such as authority, order, hierarchy, and duty. And this ideology uses a political compass, which is a very interesting way to describe one's political spectrum, which considers both economic and social factors.
If you guys want to know more, you can check it at http://www.politicalcompass.org/index. But for now, that ends our podcast episode for today.
I hope you enjoy and learn from our topic for today. It's such a fulfilling thing being able to educate you on this kind of subject matter. Right, partner?
That's right, partner. And don't worry, guys, because we'll try our best to share more related topics in our future episodes. But for now, allow yourselves to be more curious.
And use that curiosity as a fuel to learn. Again, this is Keruviel Pimentel.
And I am Niña Cielo Mojica.
And you are listening to the Revolutionary Thoughts podcast.
Bye!